To have you join us on the program Beyond 100 Days. I am Abosede Adeniran Aderemi. You can join the conversation on X. Use the hashtag Beyond 100 Days and tag TVC News NG. We are staying on the recent judgment by the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, setting aside the impeachment of Philip Shaibu as Deputy Governor of Edo State and stating that it was in violation of the law, unconstitutional, null and void. The impeachment was in violation of Section 188 and Section 35 of the Constitution. The court ordered that Philip Shaibu's salaries and emoluments be paid to him from the 8th of April, when he was illegally impeached, till the expiration of his tenure. The court restrained Governor Godwin Obaseki and the State House of Assembly from stopping him from performing his duties as Deputy Governor. And in a swift reaction, the Edo State government has filed a stay of execution. The Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehihari, says the incumbent Deputy Governor, Omobaya Godwins, remains and continues to serve as the Deputy Governor pending the hearing of the appeal of the judgment. And in another development, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed a suit by the embattled Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, and others seeking to void Asue Ighodalo's nomination as a candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State. In a judgment, Justice Omotosho held that the suit, which challenged Mr. Ighodalo's qualification on the grounds that he allegedly forged his voter's card, was statute barred. Justice Omotosho held that the suit, being a pre-election case, was filed outside the 14 days allowed under Section 285, subsection 9 of the Constitution. The judge also held that even though forgery or non-possession of voter's card was a disqualifying factor under Section 182 of the Constitution, the plaintiff failed to prove that Mr. Ighodalo forged his voter's card as alleged by the plaintiff. The judge dismissed the case for lacking in merit. While interesting development from Edo State to help examine the legal implication of all of these, legal practitioner Fred Nzeako joins me now via Zoom. Mr. Nzeako, it's good to have you join us at this time. As it is, it's exactly 100 days after Philip Shaibu was impeached as Deputy Governor of Edo State, and now he has been reinstated by court. What's the import of that court's decision?
Well, the meaning is that Philip Shaibu's impeachment has been nullified by the court as not following due process of law, as set down in the Constitution regarding the impeachment of the Deputy Governor, which is also the same process that will lead to the impeachment of a governor. You recall that the Edo State House of Assembly had been in tatters, and even as we speak, nobody is certain whether the assembly is in existence, because the assembly had a long-run roaring battle with the governor, only for the assembly to come together and purport to impeach the deputy governor without following the due process of law. I want to salute the judiciary for always coming to the rescue of Nigerian political environment. And when the judges try to clean up the audience temple created by the politicians, some people will begin to finger the judges as the challenges of Nigeria, whereas they are not only the last hope of the common man, but the last hope of the life and survival of Nigerian democracy. I believe that this judgment is one that should be encouraged, is the one that should be applauded, and is the one that should not be drawn beyond this. We understand that Edo State government had indicated the notice to appeal and had even filed stay of execution pending appeal. But I will tell you that it was done in bad faith because I don't expect Edo State government to go that route. I expected that Philip Shaibu should resume his office as a substantive deputy governor of Edo State as ordered by the court. But then, if it is left for the court to either accept or reject such a notice of appeal, or rather, such application for stay of execution. That is the discretion of the court to accept that or reject it. And I want to urge the Honorable Judge of the Federal High Court to reject such an application and insist that Philip Shaibu should resume his position as Deputy Governor of Edo State.
But you know, Mr. Nzeako, the court would only rule on what is before it. It wouldn't just award because, you know, members of the public urged it to do that. But, you know, some political watchers are actually saying that perhaps this issue wouldn't have degenerated to this point if Philip Shaibu or Gordon Obaseki had, you know, approached it another way. Talk about maybe Philip Shaibu suspending his ambition until a time that is deemed okay, when he would be in good terms with his, you know, his boss. But of course, it didn't go that way. Do you share that sentiment, really?
In as much as there is a gentleman agreement that has crept into Nigerian political experiment, whereby the rotation and the zoning formula is usually encouraged and approved. It is also very important that somebody's ambition should not be scuttled on the altar of trying to make way for other people. Philip Shaibu had gotten a lot of experience in governance and a lot of experience in public service, of which he was expected. It was expected that he should be encouraged to at least try his luck before the Edo public, and if eventually they accept him by way of voting, then he'll become the. But it seems his ambition had run foul of the expectations of the governor and by the position of the governor, who had always been his ally, and they now fell apart on account of his ambition. But what we should always ask is, this unwritten agreement that always brings issue of rotation and zoning, shall we continue on that paradigm, or shall we now relax to the practice of electing people on the basis of merit, competence, capacity, and experience? It is one aspect that Nigerian public would have to determine and decide.
I hear you, Mr. Nzeako. I hear you, but, you know, talking about rotation, as it is, both Philip Shaibu and Omobayo Gordon, they're actually from Edo North, I mean, the same senatorial zone in the state.
Yes, both are from Edo North, and that is why the governor, when he orchestrated the impeachment of his former deputy, Philip Shaibu, he still went back to Edo North to bring a replacement in the current deputy governor, because of the fact that he wanted to stick to and maintain the rotation arrangement that he wanted to ensure that it takes root in Edo State. And of course, and he did not expect that any other person will come to run from Edo North. But in some cases, because these are unwritten gentleman agreements, even at the presidential level, most party faithfuls always go against such an arrangement, and it is left for the party to determine whether they will run or not. But the governor went for the kill by ensuring that Philip Shaibu was impeached as a deputy governor.
All right. Now, talking about, you know, the party and the infighting, in another development, the courts today also dismissed Philip Shaibu's suit, which is seeking to void Aso Ighodalo's nomination as a PDP governorship candidate. It does appear that the PDP is divided against itself. Do you see the PDP able to resolve all of these issues against an APC that is seeking a return to power in the South state, and other parties like the Labour Party that has former NBA chairman Olumide Akpata as candidate?
From experience, we know that any house that is divided against itself usually don't succeed at general elections. If we have seen that over and over again, we saw that play out in 2023 presidential election, and we have always seen that play out in many states. Once any political party does not approach a major election with unity of purpose and with cohesion and tie together as one family working towards a common front is usually very difficult for such party to succeed. And I'm sure that PDP should have that at the back of their mind, because if their house is scattered and disorganized, then they will have left a lot of cracks in their wall for lizards and wall geckos to climb through and come in and mess up their chances. But they still have time to bring themselves together, because election is in September, and they have just less than 2 months or thereabout. And if they don't quickly smoothen up the cracks, then the result will likely show at the general election come September.
You just mentioned they still have time to bring themselves together. How should that coming together be? Should it be in the law courts, or should it be a political gentleman's agreement?
No, such coming together can only be done by political settlement, political understanding, give and take, and not a situation of winner takes all. And then assuage the feelings of those who are incensed and pacify those who are angry, and then bring the family together so that they will approach the election as one common family that is united. But if they fail to do so, I think they will have a lot of challenges, because the opposition is warming up very seriously to take over, and the opposition, having seen the challenges of discord and the disunity that have crept into the ruling party in Edo State, they want to capitalize on that to poach all the major elements and all the major politicians in the ruling party in order to torpedo their chances in the next election.
All right, Mr. Nzeako. Legal practitioner Fred Nzeako, thank you very much for talking to us on the program.